when you're kind of collaborating. But I think the first thing that needs to be, do you get a good vibe from that person? Because otherwise it's going to be really, really, really difficult. Any other questions? Yeah, David, right at the back there.
Hi Rasheed, my name's David Milnes. My company's Kite Mark Solutions. We provide marketing analysis to help companies identify and connect to new business opportunities. My question for the panel is, you've spoken a lot about doing things on a free basis, but have you ever offered any referral fees? And if so, how much as a percentage?
Well, there's as many different ways to do that as you can think of. Personally, I never have taken referral fees because I find that it stops me being completely objective about who's the right person to do the job. But I think in lots of instances it works for people. It's a great way to have other people do your marketing for you, and you say, any business you bring into me, I'll give you 10% of. And in all those instances, I would have something in writing, because what you think is 10% and what I think are 10% might be different. Is it 10% of the first job, or 10% over the next 10 years relationship with them? Little things like that can definitely trip you up. And there's some industries, there's some businesses where referrals are absolutely the norm, and it's odd not to take them.
Anyone else want to add about that?
I think it is very industry specific. Certainly in law, in the legal field, you just can't do that. So it depends where you are, and it depends how your whole industry operates. If it's the accepted norm, then by all means. Like Heather, I've never gone down that route for the very same reason. I just think it just doesn't sit with me terribly well. But each to his own, you know. But as Heather said, do get the agreement sorted out, and it's not just how much it's going to be; it's when they're going to pay you, how they're going to pay you, all those kind of things. You know, 10% of whatever. You know, get them pinned down. Make sure that it's 10% every month, or 10% at the end of the financial year, or 10% at the end of the calendar year. Because otherwise, you'll never get to see that money, and you'll never know how they're accounting it either.
In my own case, I haven't taken referral fees yet. I think I might have been original if I had. But for me, what's most important, first of all, my clients. I mean, I literally love. Once I realised that I had got networking kind of wrong initially, that I expected to meet somebody and them to buy for me, and I realised it wasn't about that, it's about having a good pool of people so that you're able to then go to and swap skills with and share and refer, then what I do all the time is putting people together. And on that note, David, I want you to meet Neville. Where's Neville? Neville, can you raise your hand? Yeah, Neville, in fact, can you both stand up? I want you to both see each other later on. I want you both to have a conversation. Both marketing gurus. So I spot this all the time because I notice that people often don't spot those things. So for me, that there's such a value in what can just emerge. I think Helen's point is right. I think that sometimes if the money thing is the first thing you're thinking about, then you're in trouble. However, I wouldn't always rule it out, and I think how I would like to do it, if that other person said that, Rasheed, there's a thank you, you know, as a thingy, then I would like you to accept that.
Oh, I accept flowers all the time.
Yeah. Right, more questions. I think there's a gentleman at the back, then we'll come to the lady here. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Rowan, and I run a corporate film and creative online content company called Surge Films. And my question is, how would you cost, I mean, it follows on a bit from the question we just had, but how do you cost an exchange of skills? Because if someone comes to me and says, you know, I want to highlight this module, or, you know, I want to sell this feature of my company, can you make me a film or some content that would show that? It's quite a long procedure, you know, from creatively coming up with a concept to actual delivery at the final point. So it's quite high, I guess, to monetize that. How do I cost that against, say, someone who's, you know, doing a service, you know, building a part of my website or something like that? How would I actually come to that?
Do you mind if I make a start? Because Suzanne, who's our web person, had a point about this. I think there's a number of different factors about this. I think that it might be worth you thinking about how much is your time worth, how much do you charge, how much is your daily rate, and how much might be their daily rate, which might be a good kind of starting point. But Suzanne also asked to share that it might be important for you to think about what is the value to that person. And she used the example that she might do a swap with, let's say, somebody who's a massage therapist. She might produce a website for that person. She has a 1 hour massage, a website that she creates for them, and may well be serving for them for a long period of time. So on the one hand, the value of the website might be higher, but she also points out at that particular time, that person may have had a serious injury, in which case the massage may well be of more value than to the website. So I think there may be a number of factors for you to think about, but I think it's also important that you're mindful of knowing what your own value is, and I think many creative people have got to be mindful about that, and be mindful about actually how much time will it actually take you to do that particular job. I'm working with somebody at the moment, funny enough, just on a skill swap with somebody who happens to make films, and what I needed to get them to think about was actually how much time and energy would go into the filming, the edit, and all the rest of it. So I think we need to be very mindful about that. Anyone else in the panel want to add a word?
Yeah, I would say for valuation, for the job you described, it's actually a massive job, and it's not just your time. There's lots of other things that need to go into effect there. And I would say that's